All right, guys, we're going to get started. Hopefully, John Monroe jumps in here at some point. I don't know. He may have had something come up. He was, I see he's on there. So, John Monroe, you there? He'll probably be back, hopefully soon. So, anyway, let me go over a couple of things real fast, and then we'll get into tonight's thing about goals and goal setting and stuff like that. Hopefully, if you haven't watched it yet, there's a video that I posted today from Michael Neiman that talks about how to register for Summit. It's pretty simple. You guys are going to get an email probably Monday morning because I think you guys can register on Monday. You should get an email sometime between now and Monday, maybe Monday morning, that has a link that says register now. You click on it. It pulls up the blue, or it pulls up all the different tracks and different things that you can do, and you just pick the track that you want. Once that track is sold out, it's sold out. So you can't, and then once you register, you cannot change tracks. So whatever track you register for, you're stuck with. We registered for, I think I put it on there, I think it was Blue Track Music Hall or something. I put a post in the NC Fit Club coaches page. It's all this, no matter what track you get on, it's all going to be the same trainings. It's just going to be different coaches doing the trainings depending on the track that you're on. So if you're on if you don't end up on the same track as somebody else, you're still going to get the same information. You're just going to be getting it from probably different people. There's going to be so many people there that it's going to be like herding cats trying to stay together. So we'll do the best we can. I know we had talked about, I know Lauren Belcher's talking about doing some shirts for her group, which is great. We talked about, Lauren Rivera said something to us and asked us if we were going to do shirts. And because it's going to be so big and so chaotic, we just decided to all wear the same color. So in a couple of weeks when it gets closer, like Saturday night for the big finale party, we can all wear the same color, whatever color that is, and have that type of unity. But we're going to be so spread out, it's going to be crazy. So make sure that you register as soon as possible Monday morning. As soon as you get that email and as soon as the link goes live, get on it, and you're also going to be registering for your workouts. So you can register for one workout on Thursday and one workout on Friday, and that's it. You can't do 2 on Thursday and 2 on Friday. You're going to do 1 on Thursday and 1 on Friday, and that's it. So I'll tell you this too. They're asking that you not register. So like, let's say if you register for Sean's workout on Thursday, they're asking that you register for a different trainer on Friday. Although, if I'm being honest, I have no interest in working out with Tony or Autumn, but like some of you may want to work out with one of them. I know, Courtney, I can't believe it. I don't want to work out with Autumn. I know that just offends you. I'm kidding. So honestly, I'm probably going to be on stage with Sean one of those 2 days anyway, so I'm not really that worried about it. I did pick Sean's workouts on both days, but you just do what you can, but get on there as soon as possible because once they're sold out, they're sold out. So, John Monroe, are you on here yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay, there you are. So that's that, and let's get started. You want to come over? We're gonna get started with some goal setting stuff. John's got some stuff that he's pulled from Chalene Johnson training. It looks like you have one eye because like there's a reflection on one lens, and then the other lens doesn't. So it's kind of crazy.
Arr.
So I'm gonna go over some stuff. I've just got a couple of things from the stuff that we did with Craig that I'm going to go over, and then I don't know if some of it's going to be the same as what John's got from Chalene. So
yeah, I pulled from a couple different sources and also tied it into the previous week's calls, so
all
we
right,
can have
so
that overlap.
I'll hit these real fast and move through them, and then I'll hand it over to you, and then we can, or whatever. Is that cool? All right, so if you guys have pen and paper, as always, hopefully you have something to write with. If not, you can always come back and watch the recording of this if you're in a spot where you can't write things down. This is going to be called the 10 steps to set and achieve your goals every time. So these are going to be 10 steps for goal setting when it comes to your Beachbody business and figuring out which, we kind of building off of last week's call. One of the things that's in this book that I love, it says top achievers are very intentional and focused on their goals while many of the rest of us are not. And I'll use Gina McKinney as an example. She's in that What is Diamond group, and she's very focused on hitting diamond. by the 16th, 18th.
18.
So like those we'll be talking. These are kind of things we're going for. So number one, reachable goals are specific. Reachable goals are specific. And then you can leave some space to take notes later on, or to write in some of the stuff that you want to do. Top achievers know that in order to reach their goals, the brain must know exactly and precisely what they're trying to accomplish. So reachable goals are specific. So if you're going to say, I'm going to be diamond, Craig always told us this. He was like, be specific on the date that you're going to go diamond. If it's August the 18th, 2015, then put August the 18th, 2015, I'm going to be diamond. So if you just say, oh, I'm going to be diamond before Christmas, that's too vague. You got to be specific. Never word a goal with vague terms like some or a little bit or more. So don't say, I'm going to make some money or I'm going to make a little bit more money. Leave the word some, little bit, and more out of the description. So if it means you don't say, I'm going to make more money, you say, I'm going to make $1,000 a week or $500 more. Well, I guess I'm going to make $500 additional income. Be specific on those goals. Number two, reachable goals are simple. Keep your goals simple, clear, and focused. So like, don't sit there and say, I'm going to be 10-star, 15-star diamond by the end of the year. Because that's doable. But depending on where you're at in the number of hours, that may be too complicated of a goal. Keep your goal simple. You can break it up. You could say, I'm going to be diamond by August 1st. I'm going to be 1-star by September 25th. I'm going to be 2-star by December 25th. So just keep the goal simple and focused. Reachable goals are significant. Number three, reachable goals are significant, and write significant in all caps. No one can muster enthusiasm, hard work, and courage to reach a goal they don't really care about. A reachable goal is one you really, really, really want. It's something that will change your life, enhance your health or your wealth, and make you proud. It gets your juices flowing, it gets you up in the morning, and it keeps you going all day long because it is important. Set goals that are worth achieving. And this kind of goes back to what we talked about last week about being very specific with the vision of who you want to be in this business. So like, if you say you're going to be 10-star diamond, then like we talked about last week, be specific. What does that look like? How much money are you making? What are you doing with that money? What is it that excites you? What motivates you to make the $500 a month or the $1,000 a month or the $1,000 a week? And that's kind of a problem that Carrie Kravitz runs into a lot, because Carrie has a job where she makes good money. And she said this to me on more than one occasion. She'll be like, the money that I make decent money with Beachbody, but it's not life-changing money for me. So I keep challenging her to figure out something that is significant to her that money can represent, so that it motivates her and continues to drive her. For Alicia and Courtney, it could be to get out of an office full of hens. Or it could be for kids' college fund. Like, whatever motivates you and drives you, that's what's got to help you push through your goals. It's no different than when you're working out and you start off with max 30 and you're like, I want to get down 20 pounds, or I want to build more muscle. Like Chad Stage is determined he's going to learn how to do push-ups, not push-ups, pull-ups. So like that drives him to get up and do pull-ups every day. So, it's got to be something that gets your juices flowing. If it doesn't, it's basically your why. We talked about this over and over. What is your why? These reachable goals that are significant, this is all part of your why. It's the reason that makes you want to do it every day and makes you want to do the mundane stuff. Number four, reachable goals are strategic. Design your goals to strategically impact as many areas of your life as possible. Say that again. Reachable goals are strategic. So like, how is that again, I feel like we're saying the same thing, but we're just adding to it. Reachable, like, it's all strategy. How is that $500 a month going to change your life? Know where that money's going to go. How is it going to affect your kids? How is it going to affect your spouse? How is it going to affect your marriage? How is it going to affect your vacation? All that stuff. And I'm hoping you go back later and write down the answers to these questions, and you actually start to strategize and you do the activities in each one. Number five, reachable goals are measurable. A goal without a measurable outcome is just a pipe dream. A goal without a measurable outcome is just a pipe dream. Reachable goals are measurable. And I hit on it earlier. If your goal is to be 10-star diamond, break it up into segments. Have a diamond date, have a 2-star diamond date, have a 5-star diamond date, have an 8-star, a 9, a 10, whatever, however you want to break it up, but have it broken out in measurements so you know you break this one big goal up into different legs of a race, if you want to look at it that way. Because basically when it boils down to it is what gets measured gets done. So if you actually do this, you'll actually work on achieving each leg of that goal.
Let me add something into this. I mean, I'm going to talk about it too. But when we talk about making it measurable, just for example, you say, I want to be happier. That's your goal. It's not very specific, but just generalness here as an example. How do you measure happiness? Right? Is it I'm going on more dates with my spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever? Is it I'm able to do more things in my life? Is that attaining more money? What does happiness make to you? You have to give it a tangible outcome so it's specific to be able to be attained.
Absolutely. Number 6, reachable goals are rational. Reachable goals are rational. And there's 3 parts to number 6. The first part is to reach your goal, you'll need a plan, a path, and a vehicle for getting there. A plan, a path, and a vehicle for getting there. Your plan is to make $1,000 a week, be 5-star diamond. Your path is how long it's going to take you, the measurements, the breaking up the legs of the race. And the vehicle is obviously going to be your Beachbody business. So be strategic in that part. To reach your goal, you need a plan, a path, and a vehicle. The second part of number 6, your goal should be just out of reach, but not out of sight. Your goal should be just out of reach, but not out of sight. And let me give you the perfect example for this. The first time I was going for 2-star diamond, this was before I started working with Craig. I worked with this guy named Larry Zenberg, who used to be with Beachbody, and I used to do weekly calls with him, and every week I would be like, Larry, I'm so close to 2-star, I'm so close to 2-star, I'm so close to 2-star, and I would just get there, and then something would fall apart. And then I would get there again, and something would fall apart. And what he told me to do is he's like, stop focusing on 2-star and focus on 5-star, and you'll hit 2. So when he talks about your goal should be just out of reach but not out of sight, if you focus on 5, you'll hit 2 by default. If you focus on 10, you'll hit 5 by default. I know it sounds weird, but ever since he told me that, I swear to you, it works. It is one of the things I have never forgotten. So always look past the actual goal, and then you'll end up hitting it, and always keep moving the finish line further away. Could be the same thing with Success Club points, like Alicia just said. If your goal is to hit 10, shoot for 15. Focus on 15 points. Don't focus on 10. The last part of number 6 is set goals that you can and will achieve. Goals that you can and will achieve. If it's the 28th of the month and you set a goal to hit Success Club 15 or 10, you're going to be really busting your ass the last day or 2 of the month. And that's going to be really hard, and it's going to be a lot of stress. But if it's the 15th of the month, then you've got more time, and it's more realistic to be able to hit 10 or 15 without stressing yourself out and wanting to take a bath with the toaster oven. You've got to be realistic and set obtainable goals that you can achieve. Number 7, reachable goals are tangible. And a lot of this kind of bleeds into each other, but reachable goals are tangible. It means it's something that you can actually touch, taste, breathe, smell, see. It's right there. It's you know exactly what it is. There's 2 parts to number 7 about being tangible. Those are goals that you can see here. I just said it. Goals that you can see, hear, smell, or touch. Define your goals in terms that excite the senses. Then go for it with all your heart. So like when you're writing on your whiteboard about what your goals are, write in words. Use words that get your blood pumping. Use words when you describe that goal that make you, like, every time you read it, you're like, oh my God, I've got to get this. I've got to do this. It's like that soundtrack that you play during your workout that every time it hits that one part, no matter how tired you are, you're like, oh, I got that second win. I can do this. Same thing. You've got to use language that got to get your blood boiling.
That's in the first minute, so after that it's...
Yeah. Number 8, reachable goals are written. Reachable goals are written. High achievers always know precisely what they want because they wrote it down. Often they write a short description of their goals every single morning as a personal reminder of their priorities and their objectives. I'm going to read that one more time because looking behind John Monroe is a perfect example. High achievers always know precisely what they want because they write it down. They write a short description of their goals every single morning as if a personal reminder of their priorities and their objectives. And I'm going to add something to this because I just finished putting Sean's podcast together that comes out Thursday, and he talks about something similar to this where he says every morning he gets up, and this may sound cheesy to some of you, but I challenge you to do it because nobody's ever going to see you or hear you besides yourself. Every morning that he gets up, he says that he walks into the bathroom, he looks at himself in the mirror, and he tells himself, Sean Blocker, you're an amazing person with a lot to offer. Go make a difference in the world today. That's the first thing he tells himself every morning when he looks in the mirror. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like you have to remind yourself on a daily basis of who you are, and what you're trying to do. And it's the same. Craig used to tell us this. Another little trick is take your iPhone and record yourself reading out those written goals. So like when you write out your description of who you're going to be and what you want to achieve and all this stuff that we've been talking about this week and last week, you record it in your phone and you listen to it last thing before you go to bed and first thing when you wake up in the morning. And the reason why he said to do this is because all day long you put yourself down. You constantly have these little voices in your head that tell you you're fat or you're not smart enough or you'll do something stupid. And you're sitting there all day long beating yourself up about it. And you look in the mirror and you see a roll here or a double chin here or whatever it is. And you're constantly beating yourself up and it's your own voice in your head. So when you record yourself on your phone and you listen to it each night and each morning, your mind hears your own voice telling itself the things that you really need to remind yourself and that you really deep down believe in. And I know it may sound cheesy and weird to some of you people, but I challenge you to give it a chance because you got nothing to lose. Nobody's going to hear it but you. Nobody's going to see you do it. You do it by yourself in the privacy of your own home. And it's pretty amazing when you actually stick to it and do it. And we've challenged people to do it. And oddly enough, coaches never do it. So I'm challenging you to do this. And I'll be interested to see in 3 to 4 weeks from now or when we're at Summit, if any of you come up and go, man, I've been doing this since that call. And oh, my God, my whole attitude's changed. And I've actually gotten more done. And I'm actually going for stuff. Just try it. Prove me wrong. I'd love either that or come up to me and tell me I did every day and it sucked and it didn't work. But at least I know you did it. Number 9, reachable goals are shared. I'm almost done, John, I promise. Got 2 more. Reachable goals are shared. We are far more likely to stick to a plan and reach our goals if we know our friends and family support us. Being a part of a team increases our determination, our stamina, and our courage. In other words, if you put it out there to the universe, you got people that are holding you accountable. If you don't tell anybody, nobody knows.
And I would add to that, put it out there to the people that you know will lift you up and support you.
You know, it's a perfect person for that, who I wonder if any of you still have yet to do this, a success partner. A success partner is an amazing person to tell your goals to. Hashtag good thing. Find a support team, group of cheerleaders, or a coach who will encourage you every step of the way. Hashtag success partner. High achievers count on and work with other winners. Find somebody that's going to push you. Last one, and then it's all you, John. Number 10, reachable goals are consistent with your values. Oh, my God, I cannot stress this enough. Reachable goals are consistent with your values. Let me just give you a prime example of this. And I don't care if this ever got back to her because I tell it to her face. I'll never forget the summit where Christine Dwyer, superstar diamond coach, Shalene's right-hand woman, whatever. I remember her being on stage talking about – you remember this, don't you? Being on –
It was actually our third summit.
Third summit. She's up there talking about being a 15-star diamond, and she talks about how much she sacrificed to become 15-star diamond, how she would take her kids, shove them in a room, flip the TV on. This was her words. Throw a box of Cocoa Puffs or whatever, Pringles or M&Ms, potato chips in there and be like, okay, I know this will occupy them for 30 minutes. And she was constantly doing and sacrificing whatever it took to get to 15-star diamond, which means she let her marriage and her relationship with her kids suffer because of that. And when I heard her say that, my initial reaction was, I don't want that. Like, I don't care about being 15-star diamond if that's what it takes. I've watched Monica and Dave go for the top 10 one year for the trip in France. And I remember they were here at the house and they were stressing out like I've never seen. And they're on the computer and they're constantly worried about this. And they're watching to see if anybody's gotten ahead of them. And they're worried about success goal points and how can we get this challenge pack sold. And it was like 24/7 stress from October to December. And I'm like, I had no interest in that. Like, my values about not being stressed out, about having time with Alicia, having time with Carly, having time to do things is more important to me than being 15 or top 10. So, like, my values line up to where we make 6 figures and more, and we make good money, and we still do what we want to do. And when we get off this call, I go get in the hot tub and we have fun. I don't have to get off this call and be fun and get off this call and be stressed about, oh, what else do I got to do, or what coaches do I got to sign? Like, when I get off this call, I'm done for the night. And it's just just really focus. Think about number 10 when you're doing that. And I'll read it again. They're consistent with your values. So make sure your goals don't make you sacrifice your values and your time with your kids. But it doesn't mean, and the asterisk warning, the disclaimer on that is, if your goal is to be diamond or 2-star, don't let your lack of time management and your lack of being consistent be misconstrued with your value, getting in touch with getting in way of your values. Because if your schedule's out of whack and you're not scheduling your time and you're not blocking off time and doing this and doing that so that your family and your kids and everything else doesn't suffer, that's on you. That has nothing to do with your values. That's just you sucking at your calendar and sucking at time management, and therefore you're sucking at life. Because everything's in chaos. If you're constantly living in chaos, that has nothing to do with your goals and your values. That's all on you, just not getting your crap together and knowing where you're going and actually disciplining yourself to do what it takes and blocking it off so that everything gets done. And I'm just being honest. I mean, so don't let those two, there's a fine line between that, because I see a lot of coaches that are running around like chickens with their heads cut off. They're like, oh my God, I can't do this. My life is in chaos. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I'm just like, girl, you got to get your crap together. And I say girl because a lot of times it's women. I'm just being honest. Because women take on all this other stuff. They're moms, they're PTAs, they're this, they're that. Guys do it too, but I see it more with women. Just saying. So, all right, John, take over. I'll throw it to you.
I haven't got anything to say. You already said it all. But I'm going to put it in like a prettier order that makes more logical sense. No, kidding. So, when we talk about goals, I want you guys to start writing this down right now, because I'm going to give you some free crap right now. Are you ready?
Yep.
Where's my pens? I want to see pens. I saw paper. That's good enough. Okay. Go to now I got to look up what the heck it's called. Here we go. It is called dun da da da. Oh, that's not it. Sorry. I have to get it pulled up here. Okay, it's push.kajabi.com. So kajabi.com. Push.kajabi.com. This is Chalene Johnson's 30-day push challenge. It's a free service, but you can only get entered into it at the beginning of the month. So if you enroll now, you'll be able to enroll July 1st. All right, now write this next part down. info@gf2revolution.com. That's your username. info@gf2revolution.com, which is just one of my emails that I have. Your password is workout. Okay, so anyone can use this. It's not going to reset it, so everyone can get on. It's no big deal. But there's a 30-day challenge. Just do one video a day, and this is going to break down so much stuff. I've done this 4 or 5 times. So has Debbie, my wife. And it's very interesting. Every time you go and do this, you're in a different part of your life. You're going to start seeing some things are similar, some things change. And it's amazing when you go through it to see how much growth or lack of growth you have had. It's pretty cool. But I want to give that info to you because it's one thing I use all the time that has been invaluable in getting started. So one of the first things we want to talk about is where Todd left off is where we're going to start. What are your priorities? What's the first thing above all else that comes before anything? And then the second thing, that only the first thing comes first. And then the third thing, these are your priorities. These are your values in life. That is your core character, not personality traits, but your core character. Like, I'm not going to go shoot a baby. That's just, it does not work with me. I can't do it. I hope none of you can either, by the way. But these are obviously something I cannot do. Versus I could go, if I'm on my diet and it's not clean food, but it fits my macros at the end of the day, then it's okay. Obviously, it's a little easier example than, shooting a baby in the face. But hey, make sure you find out what your priorities and values are in life. Because when you get to your goals, you have to compare all your goals to your priorities and values. If they don't match up, like I need to save money, but my goal is to buy a TV. That doesn't work. You're going to be in conflict. It's going to be hard to make a decision. Second thing, you just need to do this term Chalene uses. It's called a brain dump. Everything you got floating up here, throw it on the computer, throw it on a piece of paper. I'm more of a piece of paper kind of guy to download my head. I told you, I use my technology to just keep it in track to, hey, stupid, do this. Oh yeah, I should put the video game controller down. That's right. Okay. When you're doing this, what do you want to accomplish? Brain dump out of everything you have after. This should take you like an hour or two because you got a lot of ideas up there. Then you're going to start creating columns of what do you want to get accomplished in 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And go, wow, that's a lot. Like, yeah, this is not an easy process. You're basically mapping out what you want to accomplish in life. And here's the good thing. Once you do this, you have a vision, a clear vision of what your goals are, what your intentions are. And then you're going to be able to go, hey, I know what's coming up in the future because I've already planned it out. I know what's going to come forward because I'm working right now to achieve those goals. So after you do that brain dump, make columns. When are these certain events supposed to take place? 5 years, 10 years. I need a car in a year. I want to buy a house in 5 years. Things like that. Just anything, just any goal you want. So then, once you write all these down, you're going to make your top 10 goals. It doesn't matter how long it takes to get them. What are your top 10 goals? When you get to that, then you're going to go back and do any of these goals that you've put out. Are any of them in conflict with your priorities, your values in life? If none of them are in conflict, you're fine. If they are in conflict, you got to ask yourself, why do I want this goal if I need to save money? Or, I want to go to this great restaurant and this and that, but I have health issues that are a real big concern. What is it that's something gluttonous or something you just want to have just to have it, versus what's smart, what's reasonable, what is going to get you to where you need to be, which I know I in conflict with stuff all the time because I choose things that are in conflict with my priorities and values. I know we all do it, So once we get that, you're going to go and look at your top 10 goals and look at it and go, which one goal will help me achieve more goals? So just for example, I want to be 2-star diamond. That's my push goal. That's what Chalene calls it, a push goal. If I achieve 2-star diamond, I've helped lead others on my team so they can have success. I'm making X amount of more dollars per month, which is helping me save more money so I can buy a house. Well, by doing this one thing, making a priority, I'm going to achieve 3 more. So that's a push goal. So once you have that, we wrote down your goals. I have an idea of what your push goal is. Oh, I jumped ahead here. So we're going to go down. You want to make sure all your goals are SMART. Okay, SMART. And Todd has already talked about all this. Again, I'm just kind of reiterating stuff and putting them in order. Your goals are to be specific. They're to be measurable. Like I talked about being happy. What does happy look like? I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, 10 pounds. I get what 10 pounds looks like. is it attainable? So if someone comes up to attainable and realistic, these two are kind of similar in my opinion. So like if someone's like, I'm going to lose 40 pounds in 1 month. Actually, you're not. Unless we lob off your leg, it ain't happening. I mean, it's not realistic. So you can't attain it. I always preach this. No one should lose more than 1 to 2 pounds per week. The bigger you are, 2 pounds, maybe a tiny bit more. But those are health standards that you should be in. So is it attainable? No. What is attainable? 8 to 10 pounds in a month. Okay, I'm happy with that. It's realistic. It's attainable. And then the last part, T, timely. You got to give everything a date. It doesn't matter. Like Todd was talking about setting stuff up, by September, 1 star, by December, 2 star, and exact dates, the 23rd. That way, as you're tracking, going, oh crap, I didn't invite people because I was afraid to talk to someone. Now I haven't talked to those 4 or 5 people, and usually 2 of them would have signed, and that would have been making me diamond by that point. Gives you the idea of what to look at. So SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely. Everyone got those? Yeah, okay. Next part, once you have basically, for most part, we're talking about that push goal, the one that achieves more than just that goal. Reverse engineer. So what does that look like again, with the example, 2-star diamond? Okay, so I am a Ruby coach and I still need 2 coaches to be diamond. So I got to add 2 coaches to be diamond. And then for every star diamond after that, I need 2 more coaches. So to be 2-star, I have to add 6 more coaches to my group. And I know I'm being very emerald right now, but these are things you have to look at. You have to be measuring exactly what it's going to do and how long you have to do it. So if I give myself 6 months, I can do 1 coach a month, and that's fine if no one drops. But you reverse engineer. What does it look like? What type of trainings? What type of skills? How many phone calls are you getting on with your coaches? What does this all look like? Map it out, record it, put it down in your calendar so you know, hey, I got to call Mancuso this week because I got to make sure he's on top of the stuff, or Chad Stage, or, just whoever it is. Sorry, Johnny, I saw you right there. So you were the first name that came to mind. Yeah. Okay. Once you have that set up, you want to set this is not exact, but whatever is the most specific for that individual goal, set a weekly or a monthly step or reward. So in the case of 10 pounds in a month, I need to lose 2 pounds a week, 10 pounds by the end of the month. So mark those goals. And with that, set a reward system for it. So, and then again, it has to be SMART, in line with my goal is. So if my goal is to lose 10 pounds, my reward should not be a Snickers or going out to like an all-you-can-eat pasta bar. That's just stupid. Okay, and plus you're going to be mad at yourself because that reward is in conflict with your priorities. Again, it doesn't make sense. Kind of see how this is all coming in circles, backwind with each other. We have already made, so like that push goal, that should be your main focus. That's the thing you're really going after. You're still working on all your other goals, but every day you got to be working on that one. And that kind of goes into do lists, which we can do in another call. Now the next part, review and revisit your goals daily. And this also kind of ties in a lot with positive affirmations with what you said Sean was talking about every morning. I'm a great person. I'm going to get out there and help people today. I'm going to get after my goals. And I know I'm going to make a positive impact on someone today. Same thing. Once you have your goals, put them on your phone, whether it's on your Apple Notes app or Droid Notes or Wunderlist or Productive.
The audio recording that you listen to every night and every morning, or whatever it works.
Oh yeah, or the hello audio recording. I like these goals. Whatever it is, visit it. Put it on your home screen. Go, what am I doing? Oh yeah, that's right. I got some goals to do today. Whatever it is, you got to revisit daily. Otherwise, it's going to go out of your mind because there's going to be a million things that are going to run you over by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going to be like, screw this.
John,
you got to be reminded.
One thing to add on to that, because it reminded me of it, is when we talked about success partners and your list of 10 things to do every day. That's why we talk about the 10, like every night before you go to bed. One of the things we talked about several calls ago is write down the 10 things that you know you got to get done tomorrow to move your business forward. And the top 3 or 4 have got to be the most important ones. Those are the ones you attack the first, whether it's the eat that frog mentality or the Shalene mentality or Craig's mentality. It's all the same. It's just whichever language speaks to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you text those 10 things to your success partner. That word keeps coming up for a reason, because that person is going to hold you accountable to those goals, so that if you don't do it at the end of the day and all the affirmation and things that we're talking about didn't work, that person's going to text you or call you at the end of the day and be like, how many of the 10 things did you get done? And when you say I only got 3 or 4, if they're a good success partner, they're going to push you and push. Another word that we're hearing a lot of, push goals. They're going to push you and ask you why. And you're going to have to come up with those answers. And you got to be honest with yourself and with them and be like, I sucked at time management today. I let Facebook newsfeed get in the way and waste an hour. You've got to be honest with yourself, because if you try to sugarcoat it, here's the thing. Here's a wonderful thing about this business. And when you have a success partner or you're working with an upline mentor or whatever, the numbers never lie. You can write down all the stuff on your BAT and make it look like you're just perfection. And when your checks are $20 a week, something doesn't add up. Because if you're doing everything you say you're doing, but you're not making any money, then you're not really doing what you say you're doing, or you're not doing it right. So go ahead, John. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just add this in. We're talking about to-do lists. How Shalene talks about it is you have to have 2 things on your to-do list every day that correlate to your push goal. And they don't have to be big. You know, she kind of applies to the slide edge or the compound effect mentality of, you know, I need to, instead of like, I have to order shirts today, it's, I need to contact a retailer. I need to design my logo. I need to import my logo to my retailer. There's all these little steps. Don't think it's, you know, just all these little steps. Break down to the most minuscule thing you can think of. And those are the little things that are going to help move you forward. And those other 8 things on your to-do list, you know, in my opinion, you got life. You got kids, you got a family, you got a job. Add everything else you need to do on you that has to get done that day goes on that list. Once you get done with that, then you can add other things in. Then you can get more important things in. But you have at least 2 items on your to-do list that are going to move your business forward, whatever that push goal is. And if it's not this business, hey, that's not me to judge. That's you. You have your own specific needs and goals that you need to get in order. So just 2 things every single day. And then last but not least, hashtag accountability partner, success partner. Oh my goodness, you heard it again. You got to make sure you have someone you put it out to. And we've done this a lot before, and good to have it out there. But don't just Facebook blast it and be like, guys, I'm doing this, this, and this, and this today, okay? And put it on NC Fit Club coaches. Woohoo! Hey, I'm great. You did that. But you need to take more accountability on yourself. And you need to go, hey, Ryan, dude, can you help me? I need to get this going. And I would really appreciate it if we could be success partners. And call me on my shit, dude. And like, if I don't do it, yell at me because I need that. And I'll slip. I'm human. But is that something that you think would be good between you and I? Because unless you do that, putting it out there doesn't mean shit.
And you know another good thing about when you find an account partner is what happened? What was that?
I was like, I dropped the pen, like drop the mic.
Oh, very well done. When you're finding a success partner, sometimes it's good to find a success partner that's good at what you suck at and that you're good at what they suck at. So like I had a success partner one time that was really good on social media, but horrible at some, I don't remember, but we were polar opposites. Like there were things that I was good at. You were
good at social media. He was good at selling challenge packs.
Yeah, I was good at social media. He was good at selling challenge packs. He sucked at social media. I sucked at challenge packs. So we would challenge each other and we would work with each other, and he would give me tips on challenge packs and I would give him tips on social media. So that doesn't mean you have to have that in a success partner, but that's one of the things that you can do, or you find, because a lot of times if you pair up with somebody that sucks at the same things that you suck at, it's going to be hard for you to help each other because you both suck at the same thing. But if you've got somebody, this
So
sounds
positive.
so positive. But if you got somebody that's really good at what you're bad at, and you're good at what they're bad at, you can kind of do a little yin yang thing and kind of work together and fill each other's holes. That sounded really sexual, but or maybe just my head. But anyway,
All right, I have something to add.
Thank you.
You were talking about the voice memos.
Yeah.
And, another thing that we have done before in the past is sticky notes. Sticky notes are great. Sticky notes are good to place in places where you see every day. Like if you want to lose 10 pounds, maybe put a sticky note on the refrigerator that says, I need to lose 2 pounds this week. So that every time you open that refrigerator, you see that. The first place you go most of the time when you get up in the morning is in the bathroom. So that might be a place for the positive, affirmations where if you're not saying it in the mirror like Sean, you've got something written there going, I'm a great person, I am beautiful, blah, 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 whatever. A long time ago, obviously, when you were overweight, we had printed out at the time, had watched that documentary Super Size Me. So you had printed out the picture of Morgan Spurlock with the French fries in his mouth. And literally that was on my mirror and his mirror in the bathroom.
It was on my desk. It was on the refrigerator.
For like 2 years. Like, I'm not kidding you.
It didn't help me lose weight, but it reminded me of how fat I was.
But I think it was just the reminder of that movie and or that documentary and how powerful it was, because you were the one that would go to Sonic and order the cheeseburger, the fries, the Dr. Pepper, the chili cheese coney, and the milkshake. No lie. And so, it was just the reminder for you. I'm just saying. Like,
no, you're right.
And it made me think of it because I've got a customer of ours that's in one of our challenge groups, and I was messaging her last week, and she was just kind of like, I just start and I'm just not motivated, and I can't keep, I start and I stop, and I'm like, well, you're in this group, I can't help you, I cannot come to your house and push play every day. And that was a suggestion I gave to her. I was like, look, take some sticky notes and just put these things somewhere. I want to lose how much, I was finding out how much weight she wanted to lose, and I'm like, write that down, put it where you see it, so you're reminded every day. Don't let life get in the way, and then you go to bed at night and you're like, oh, I was too busy, I didn't work out today. Oh yeah, I do want to lose that 10 pounds. Like it's a constant reminder that you want to see it. Put it in your car. So,
what's funny? Go ahead, John.
I really like that. The one thing, in my opinion, because it's like me, I'm like, oh, I know that. Whatever, I know that. I need to do this. I know that. But maybe on top of what you need to do, add your why. Obviously, it may not be like long, but just
right.
Whatever that why is, 2 words or something. Add that to it. Just because a reminder going, I need to lose 10 pounds because you go.
It's funny because if you go back to last week's call, the thing that everybody was supposed to write down that's still on our whiteboard, once you are aware, there is no excuse not to change. That was last week's call. You see how these calls kind of feed off each other? It's kind of crazy how we figured that all out.
We'd even plan that.
There's no excuse not to change it. The thing that's funny about this business is that it's so funny that we can sit here and hold our customers accountable and help them lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds and help them become amazingly new people. But yet when it comes to our business, we can't apply the same principles that we teach and coach every day, which in some ways makes us feel like hypocrites and that kind of stuff. But it's like we lose sight of the fact that it's not that hard. It's very simple, basic things that we have to do. And we do it. We are all willing to do it when it comes to our workouts. But then when it comes to this Beachbody business, we don't seem to have the same discipline that we have. Some of us don't have the same discipline that we have towards working out. And a lot of that goes into your belief system in your mind and the way you look at this business. Until you look at this business as your business and you stop looking at it as you're a coach that works for Beachbody. And I say this because I used to say it. And Craig used to beat me over the head with a bat every time I'd say this. He'd be like, people would come up to me, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a Beachbody coach. I work for Beachbody. Bitch, you don't work for Beachbody. You work for yourself. They pay me a check, but I sell their stuff. Like, it's my business. NC Fit Club gets $10.99. I don't get $10.99 from Beachbody. well, yeah, I guess I do get 1099 from Beachbody, but I don't get a W-2. They're not paying, I am my own thing. I pay my own taxes. I determine how much I make. You need to kind of take the word Beachbody out of your vocabulary, because it can become a crutch that you lean on, and you need to understand that this, if you want it to be, is a business. It is your business. We were sitting there talking to my dad and my stepmom at the beach this weekend, and we were talking.
Your stepmom yet?
Oh, soon to be stepmom. And we were talking about Monica and Dave, and we were talking about how successful they are and how they make $1 million a year with Beachbody. And Karen was like, they make $1 million with Beachbody? And we're like, yeah. Like, to me, that's not out of the question. That's not hard to believe, because I know that we will eventually do that. And I say that because I'm confident in us getting and following their path and understanding how to do this. I'm not asking you to believe in yourself to the point yet to where you can sit there and say, yes, one day I'm going to make $1 million in a year. Because right now you have to develop your belief system to where you can get to the point to where you can set these goals that we talked about tonight, and you can actually believe in yourself and know that this is obtainable. A lot of you have a hard time going, oh, I don't know if I'll ever quit my job. I'm going to tell you this, and I cannot stress this enough, and it is the scariest thing you'll ever do. And I'm talking from experience. If you don't, there's going to come a time in your business as you get successful where you're going to take that leap of faith, whether it's cutting back your hours or figuring out what it takes to quit your job. And the day you quit your job to become a full-time Beachbody coach is going to be one of the scariest yet most rewarding days of your life, because you are then completely in control. And that plan B and that crutch that you've been hanging on to, which is your full-time job, is gone. And you realize it's all on you. And the thing you'll understand once you do this, is that all of you that have full-time jobs that think that job is security, it is about as secure as you. It's completely, it is as insecure as it can be. They can get bought out. They can close tomorrow. The market could crash. You could get laid off. There are so many, you are not in control of how long you keep your job. In your mind, everybody still thinks of this traditional system to where I'm going to work someplace for 20 years and retire. That's not how it is nowadays. People change jobs all the time. John can speak to experience of that. Alicia's worked for numerous dentist offices. People retire, they sell it, whatever. My stepdad has a company that he owns. My cousin, who I told you about a week or so ago, that sat here in his basement and told me about how we were going to make it with Beachbody, and then she quit. She works for my stepdad. And what she doesn't know, and what nobody knows at that company, is that he's building the business up to sell to a company in Germany who's already made him an offer, but the offer wasn't big enough. So he's building the company bigger so that they'll offer him more money. Nobody in the company knows that. And so it's like, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You really don't. So to fool yourself and think that because you have a 9-to-5 job and a full-time salary means you have job security, you are walking through the valley with blinders on. When you are a full-time employee, whether it be Beachbody or whatever it is that you own, because you do own this business, you are in complete control of how much money you make. And those of you that are sitting here with the insecurities and the doubts about it because you only make $200 or $300 a week, if that, it's probably because numerous things. Either one, you haven't just developed your skills enough to understand how to grow this business, and that will come, or you've been in this business so long that you've just kind of just not really ever tried, and you just settle for average. And that's on you. It's like, if you want it bad enough, which is what we talked about tonight, you'll go for it. You'll develop it. When she cut back to 2 days a week, our checks went up. And I've been
not immediately, but
it didn't take. It only took a couple of months, 2 to 3 months after she cut back, the check started going up. And I have been telling her for a year and a half now. I've been telling her, I'm like, if you were home more, we'd make more money. Like, if you would just come home, we can make more money. Oh, no. I don't know. Because the Emerald comes out and she analyzes all this shit. And she's just like, yeah. And
I'm analyzing it myself right now. Where's that?
so I'm telling you, you are going, the day's going to come. If you go for it, I'm just telling you, this is only going to happen if you go for it. And if you go for it and you set these goals and you actually go for it, the day's going to come where you're going to get scared shitless and you're going to jump out of the plane. And I promise you, the parachute comes out. You will not fall to the ground and die. You will live and you will prosper.
Well, and I'll say something because I'm speaking from me. But when I did that, there were a lot of things that happened that were big distractions. So things came up. We were traveling. Our basement flooded. So here I'm working 2 days a week, but now I'm dealing with the basement being flooded, contractors coming over, people coming and packing up the basement, going and picking out new flooring. Now we need a new hot water heater. It was like so many distractions, and it's like obstacles are coming up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Like, I just cut back to 2 days a week, and I'm not even working on Beachbody. But kind of once those things calmed down and subsided, it was like, okay, now I can focus. This is what I'm going to do. And yeah, I mean, I think I just said last week, the 2 days that I'm not working, we have already replaced that money.
Oh,
plus
and plus some. And then, and the last two things I'll tell you is this.
And then you said, when are you going to quit?
Yeah. I'm like, so now you got some homework to do after we talked about goals of when you're going to get the hell out of there. So last thing I'll tell you, last two things I was going to tell you. Number one, if you're a parent, if you have kids, I'm 99.9% positive that tonight's activities and homework is going to affect your kids, and that your kids play a large role in this. So those of you that don't have kids, I know this doesn't apply to you, but there is something that's emotionally connected to your goals that would be the same as a kid. But parents understand what I'm talking about. If I was you and I was a parent, and you write down these goals, and I've used this before, and I've watched women cry when I say this because they feel guilty. Every night before you go to bed, before you listen to your affirmation statement, assuming that you hopefully do that, go to your kid's bedroom while they're asleep and look at them and ask yourself, did I do everything today to accomplish these things, to make their life better, to get their college fund, to do whatever? Insert your answer here. And that's your moment of honesty, because if you can look at your kid and say, I did everything I could today to hit my goals, to better their life and better mine, go to bed, you'll sleep like a baby. If not, it's a huge wake-up call. It's like a kick in the gut that makes you re-examine how you did the things that day, and it makes you go, okay, I got to get this crap together. I've got to get this done. And it keeps you focused. Now, those of you that don't have kids, you've got to find something that emotionally connects you to those goals as much as if it was your kid. And I don't remember what else I was going to say, but that was pretty much it. I mean, that's it. Anything else?
Can I add something? Because this is something going back to what you were talking about how, and I know you mentioned about Chad last week when he came to the house. He was like, yeah, June's going to be hard, hit Success Club. And you're like, yeah, if you think that's going to happen. And I remember something from a seminar that we went to several years ago when Monica and Dave were in Phoenix, and they had us come out there to a
Psi seminar.
And I remember walking in this room, and the only thing that was on the wall in this room was a sign, and it said, to think equals to create. And like, I have never forgotten that. And it kind of goes back to what you said to Chad. It was like, well, if you think that's going to happen. So, and I really truly believe in that. Like, if things that you think you're creating it, whether it's positive or negative.
And it ties in exactly to what I just remembered I was supposed to bring up, what you just said. I got a message from Patrick Simonin. I hope I'm saying that right, Patrick. I know he's on the call. Here you are. Or Pat. I'm sorry, Pat. So Pat sends me this message, and I told him to remind me to bring this up at the call. And John, jump in here if you want. But he said, I'm still getting people who don't want to spend the money on products, but showing them the Shaun T 5-minute workouts is helping. You can show them the 5-minute workouts all day long, and kind of like John's theory of free eating groups and stuff like that. Eventually they're going to have to crap or get off the pot. And Danny always said that whatever objection you're getting the most of, you're putting it out there, which goes back to your disbelief or your lack of belief yet in your confidence in yourself to do this and the belief you have in product. I say this because when Shakeology first came out, I was like, I didn't have belief in it. I was like $119, which is what it was then, and now it's even $10 more. So like if it had been $129, I would have been like, oh crap. But it was $119 at the time, and I'm like, how in the hell am I going to get people to spend $119 on this? Now, whether you're actually saying that to yourself or you're something subconsciously you're thinking about, if you're getting the money objection all the time, you're putting it out there, whether it's your body language, the words you're using, something's going on that's causing that. It could be lack of getting into their emotional why. It could be you're not quite there forming them yet, understanding how to get to that connection. But it's just gonna take you developing your skills and your belief, not only in the products, but in yourself. Because that's why we're doing these calls. That's why we're not really spending a lot of time talking about challenge packs and Success Club. We're talking about goals. We're talking about attitude. We're talking about discipline. Because really, everything we've been talking about in these calls is really what matters as far as growing your business. Me sitting here educating you on team volume and cycle bonuses is not going to do crap for you if you're not making money. And you're not making money because you need to work on these things that we're talking about: the goals, the attitude, the discipline, the time management, the success partner, the accountability, getting better at what you suck at. If you are going out to be an NBA player, you're going to practice your foul shots every day. You're going to practice your 3 points. You're going to practice your defense. If you're trying to lose 60 pounds, you're going to do max 30. You're going to watch what you eat. You're going to work every day to get better. That's what you've got to do with this business. And as you do, those objections will get less. And then when you do get them, it'll just be because that's not the right person. And the beauty of it is that day, when that day comes, you won't care, because you'll be like, all right, next, not ready, next, because you know it's not you. John, you want to add anything to that?
No, that was perfect. I mean, it's all about developing our skill set for who we are. And that's the biggest thing I say I've taken away from this business is all the education learning that has advanced me, and just skills that no one teaches you. You don't go to school and learn skills like this, but these are the skills that are in every single job, any single business, relationships, communication, just all these little things that are going to make you a much better person in general. I mean, that's pretty much it. And again, challenge packs, guys, there's FAQs, there's all the trainings in the back for products that you can read, and they're on point. Trust me, I know. So, I mean, it's all right there for you, but the only difference is you.
You know, that's why I don't care. And I shouldn't say I don't care. Actually, yeah, I will say I don't care. That's why I don't care when a coach comes to me and says, I'm quitting to go to Isagenix, or I'm quitting to go do this or do that. And I flat out, and I will tell it like it is to a coach. I let this one girl have it. I'm like, this is your third business in 2 years. The only variable in the equation is you. Good luck and get out. And that's what I told her, because I was done. I was like, I'm not wasting my time with you, because you're not changing. You're not working on you. And when you leave to go do that other business, you're going to have a couple of successes at the beginning, and then you're going to be right back where you are right now. And I'm tired of trying to change you. If you don't want to change, I can't make you change. So go do what you think you got to do. And the beauty of it is, the moment that I just love, and this is so vindictive and so bad, is when I watch them on Facebook and I see them hitting the same struggles 3 months into that new business. And I'm like, told you so. But of course, I don't post that on their Facebook page.
Danny Johnson just posted this today.
Yeah, Danny Johnson just posted this on her Facebook. On Instagram. The grass is always greener somewhere else, but I promise it's just as hard to cultivate that land. I'm telling you, the grass always looks green on the other side of the fence, and then you get over there and you're like, shit, I got to do the same thing to this grass that I did to that grass over there to make it grow. And everybody's like, oh, it's a new business. It's this. They got a better comp plan. They got this. They got that. It all comes down to you. That's all it is. It's always going to be you. So anyway. All right, guys. Anything else, John? Or are we closing this puppy out? What are you laughing at? What?
No, that's good.
Let me tell you something. I can't help it. I get fired up. that's just the way I am. I love this stuff. I love helping you guys. John loves helping you guys.
I know, but for those who don't know him, he's not fussing. Like, he's not coming.
No, I'm not. If you take it as me
him.
No,
fussing,
I will agree with that because it used to be like, what the hell, Todd? But now, like, when you see Todd like this, that is just 100% honest, pure passion coming out of his mouth. It may seem angry and all these other things, but it's because he's so passionate and in love with it.
let me tell you, you guys.
No, because sometimes you'll talk to me and you kind of do the same thing, and
And she's like, "Why are you yelling at me?" I'm like, "I'm not yelling. I'm just excited." But no, let me tell you. I sometimes it's like you guys that have kids will understand this. It's like you try to tell your kids things that you've learned by doing it yourself, and then they don't listen and they still do it, and you're just like, ugh. So I'm going to tell you a lesson, and whether you decide to do this or not, or you want to learn it the hard way, it's up to you. I have spent the first 3 to 4 years of this business trying to change people and trying to be a people pleaser and trying to make every coach on our team happy and trying to kiss their ass and never make them mad and never hurt their feelings and just sit there and tell them what they wanted to hear. And you know what happens when you do that? They don't change. They go on. You are doing nothing but aiding them and just staying the way they are. And so it started to get to me a year or so ago. And then this group that you guys, some of you are in, called It Starts with Diamond. When I saw Chris Reed go on that thing, and it was Danielle did it too. Yeah. Danielle and Chris Reed went on there and posted a video that was like, if I got an inactive coach and they're not going to stay active, I call them up and be like, what's the deal? Why aren't you active? Get active or get out. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm not saying be an asshole. I'm just saying be honest. Like, you're not doing anybody any favors by not being honest with them and not telling them like it is. If I sit up here and paint this pipe dream, like corporate has a tendency to do, and I'm going to say, I don't care. I'm not a fan of everything corporate does. I don't like watching some of these 15-star diamonds and superstar diamonds get on the national wake-up call and act like what they do is so effing simple and that they just get up out of bed and it just all happens. And they go on Instagram and it's all roses and sunshine and pretty. And I'm like, I know the shit behind the scenes and you're full of it. And I don't like getting up here and telling people stuff that's not true and selling it and acting like it's not going to be hard work. Because it is. Like, if it wasn't hard, you wouldn't be. It's not worth doing it. So it's like if Max 30 was easy, you wouldn't get the results you get. Like, if you white guys that are afraid to dance don't do size, you're never going to learn how to dance. Like, just because you think you can't dance, if you want to learn how to dance, you're going to have to be awkward, uncomfortable, learn how to dance. But, like, I can't stand this. I'll give you a perfect example. What's the guy's name that's the orthodontist? Oh, Josh Spencer's coach. Help me out. Coach of the year. Wayne Wyatt. Wayne Wyatt has how many orthodontist practices?
Several.
Like 6 or 4. He's got 4 practices as an orthodontist. And these 2 women right here, I'm pointing to Courtney and Alicia. These 2 women understand working in the dental field. 4 orthodontist practices is a lot. So you mean to tell me when I listened to the National Wake Up Call years ago when Wayne Wyatt was like getting 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 Success Club points a month. He gets on the National Wake Up Call and talks about, I just get up every day and I do my 2 exposures and my follow-ups and I do this. And I'm like, bullshit. You've got people running your social media machine. You've got lead machines on your website. You mean to tell me an orthodontist with 4 practices gets up and does all that stuff and sees all his patients? Bullshit. That is bullshit. And I don't care how you try to paint it. You can polish a turd however way you want to. It's always a turd. And that's what that story was. And I'm sitting there wanting to throw up in my mouth because corporate will put that out there on the National Wake Up Call. And then all of you listen to it. And you're like, oh my God, I suck because if this guy that runs 4 orthodontist practices is getting 50 Success Club points a month and in the top of the company and coach of the year twice or however many times he did it, I must be the world's worst coach I suck. I'm going to quit. And that's what pisses me off because sometimes when you paint that picture, it affects all of you that way because those of you that don't have the shield built up of personal development and understanding and seeing the cloud and smoke and mirrors, let it beat you down. And you can't. You've got to realize that take everything that those top coaches tell you, take it for about 60 to 70% truth. The rest of the 20 to 30% is embellishment and bullshit. It really is. Like when you I've used this example before. I saw an elite coach post on her Facebook page. I made $17,000 this week. Yeah, bitch, because you got your quarterly bonus check. You don't make $17,000 a week, but you're going to go on Facebook and you're going to put out there, I made $17,000 this week, as if that's your weekly commission check. Bullshit. Like, don't go out there selling that. That's why, and I'm going to be honest with you, and this may hit a nerve with one of our coaches, and I'm going to leave them nameless. Like, man, I don't know where this rant came from, but we're on it.
Yes, Dad.
From the mouths of babes. She was not in here during the foul language. I will caution you on one last thing. This business is not about it is about rank, but rank only serves a purpose when it comes to capping your income. Like, I used to care about rank. I now care about rank for financial reasons, not for recognition. If I can be 5-star and make $10,000 a month, I don't care if I'm 5, 10, 15, whatever. I just want the $10,000 a month. When you start getting caught up in recognition and all right, if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to put it out there. They might get pissed at me, but whatever. When you start getting caught up in recognition and how many coaches you have on your team, and like Jimmy Hayes Nelson puts it out there, oh, we're 3,000 strong, or we're this and we're that. To me, you start losing sight of what it's all about. It's not about bragging rights of how many coaches you have or how high your rank is. I would rather see you brag about how many people's lives you've changed. And if you've changed 3,000 people's lives who've lost weight, then put that out there. I want to see the 3,000 faces of people that lost 20, 30, 40, 60 pounds. I don't care how many coaches are on your team. If you're using that as a recruiting tool, great. But I'm going to tell you right now, when your business gets to a certain point, you're not going to be able to touch all those people. So you start bragging about that, and you're going to start having people signing up thinking that they're going to get a piece of you like Lindsay Matway does, and then they're going to get on Lindsay Matway's team, and I've seen it happen. They're like, oh, but I don't get to talk to her like I thought I was going to. I didn't get to do this. I didn't get to do that. I've watched people – man, I'm putting some – good night.
Ruining the intensity.
Yeah, thank you. The last thing I'm going to tell you, because this is all coming to me because these are examples of what I'm trying to get across to you. Talking about Shalene, because Shalene's training is amazing, but I will leave this coach nameless as well. I know of a coach, a very successful coach, who came to me and was like, man, like this whole thing with me and Sean, like, developed naturally. Like, we have a genuine friendship. This coach paid thousands, like 15 or 30. It was one of those two. Like,
it was like 35 to 45.
$35,000 to $40,000 to be mentored by Shalene. And their comment was, I thought by doing this, I was going to get a personal relationship with her. And they blew that money, and all they got out of it was emails and webinars. And I'm like, man, and like, I see that, and it's like you're going into it for the wrong reasons. And then they see me friends with Sean and like, how are you doing that? I'm like, I'm just being real. Like, we just hit it off and became friends. That's it. I ain't paying him shit. Like, we're just friends. And yes, it's helped our business, but it's because it happened naturally. When you start getting caught up in that crap, you're going down a really treacherous path. So just take that advice for what it is. And I'm going to shut up before I piss anybody else off or air anybody else's dirty laundry. But I'm just like, man, like, this was a night of honesty here at the end. I'm like, let's just keep it real. It is what it is.
Hey, maybe next week we could pick a coach on the team and we can have like a roast.
Oh my God.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, this will be an interesting call to see what kind of flack I get back from this. Oh, well. It is what it is. I've only been doing it for 8 years. I might know what I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. All right. See you later. Peace out.
Guys.
I love you guys. I really do. And I hope you guys have an amazing night. And hopefully we'll see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.